And we end today's show with palace intrigue from the British royal family. Prince Harry now says he's ready to forgive, but is the royal family ready to forget?
It was a day steeped in tradition, rich with honor, and echoing the weight of royal legacy. A pivotal event in the ceremonial life of the British monarchy. Yet, as the pageantry unfolded, one man who once stood at its very center found himself thousands of miles away, watching from afar with a heart full of humiliation and fury. Prince Harry, now better known as the Duke of Montecito, has been decisively cast out, left in the cold.
He wants to reconcile with his father, King Charles, but says silence and a bitter security dispute are standing in the way. From courtroom defeats to personal heartbreak, here's the latest on the royal rift.
As King Charles and Prince William strode side by side through the hallowed halls of Westminster Abbey, commemorating 300 years of the Order of the Bath, Prince Harry remained thousands of miles away in California, overwhelmed by sorrow and indignation. His desperate, last-ditch appeal to join the ceremony met with a harsh and unyielding refusal. The monarchy has made its position crystal clear. The self-exiled prince no longer holds a place within the fold. The verdict from his own father was resolute, a frigid and final no. Spurned, dismissed, left behind. While William was honored with the prestigious role of Great Master of the Order, Harry found himself mourning behind the gates of Montecito, simmering with rage at the unmistakable truth. His chapter in the royal saga has come to a definitive close.
This interview Harry has done with the BBC, I feel like it raises more questions than provides answers. Which were the comments which really stood out to you?
Oh, so many, Caroline. And I think actually the nature of the interview surprised me in and of itself. The fact that he did it so quickly after that Court of Appeal security judgment.
At the center of the majestic ceremony stood King Charles and Prince William, emblems of tradition, continuity, and the enduring strength of the monarchy. In this landmark moment, Prince William was formally appointed as the Great Master of the Order of the Bath, a distinguished title once held by King Charles himself since 1975, when it was bestowed upon him by Queen Elizabeth II. But this occasion was far more than a ceremonial passing of a title. It was a profound gesture of confidence, a public transfer of duty, and a powerful affirmation. Prince William has been firmly positioned as the monarchy's future. And Harry, the man once hailed as the beloved people's prince, absent. No title bestowed, no seat reserved, no name uttered.
And what's the actual purpose, do you think?
I mean, that man does not have a good direction when it really comes to anything. I mean, even just giving the interview to the BBC was a really weird choice, considering the part the BBC played in Diana's death, to be honest, because Martin Bashir, obviously we know there was a lot of cover-ups that happened around the time of the interview when she gave.
The message could not have been more unmistakable. Prince Harry had relinquished his place at the royal table, and now, he wasn't even granted entry into the room. This wasn't merely another ceremonial gathering for the cameras. Rooted in medieval tradition, the Order of the Bath ceremony is held every 4 years to honor individuals whose lives exemplify loyalty, service, and unwavering duty. The very principles Prince Harry publicly distanced himself from. By airing grievances through interviews, releasing a tell-all memoir, and collaborating on headline-grabbing Netflix productions, Harry chose spectacle over service, controversy over commitment. His absence from this deeply symbolic occasion wasn't due to scheduling conflicts. It was a matter of conviction. This was a solemn tribute to those devoted to crown and country, the very ideals Harry has repeatedly called into question. Behind the palace gates, insiders reveal that Harry made a last-minute, heartfelt appeal to be included in the Order of the Bath service, a request said to have gone directly to King Charles. But the response was immediate and absolute, denied. The reason? The royal institution no longer places its trust in him.
Exclusive interview with the BBC. It keeps growing. We will tell you how the rest of the royal family is reacting. Let's bring in our News Nation entertainment expert to break it all down. Paula Froelich here with us.
The royal family is like, oh, here we go again. Harry, they were celebrating VA Day, their version of Memorial Day.
Following his scathing BBC interview on May 2nd, in which he once again cast the royal family as aloof, prejudiced, and emotionally unavailable, the notion of welcoming Prince Harry back into such a deeply symbolic royal setting was nothing short of unthinkable. Senior palace aides were reportedly alarmed, fearing that his presence would overshadow, if not outright tarnish, the integrity of the ceremony. And perhaps most telling of all, King Charles did not personally acknowledge his son's appeal. Sources close to the palace confirm that the refusal was delivered not by the monarch himself, but through intermediaries within the royal household. The same man who once held Harry tenderly in his arms as a newborn prince now won't even meet his gaze. It is both a profound personal snub and a very public repudiation.
Because the king has refused to speak to you since February 2024. Now that is over a year ago. However, only did they decide to remove my security, but they also signaled to every single government around the world not to.
As King Charles and the Prince of Wales made their solemn procession through Westminster Abbey, flanked by the distinguished Knights and Dames Grand Cross, they projected more than ceremonial grandeur. They embodied cohesion and authority. This was not merely a display of tradition, it was a calculated declaration. The monarchy was broadcasting a powerful visual message. The institution stands firm, the line of succession is unwavering, and allegiance to the crown will not go unnoticed. Meanwhile, Harry watched from a continent away, observing as his father and brother solidified their alliance on the world stage, while he remained isolated in his chosen exile. Once celebrated for his bravery on the battlefield, Prince Harry now finds himself barred from the very institutions that once embraced him, not out of vindictiveness, but as the inevitable result of his actions. And this may only be the prologue. In Part 2, we'll explore how his explosive BBC interview may have sealed the fate of his standing within the royal family, marking the definitive collapse of his royal credibility.
Also don't want history to repeat itself. I've discovered that some people do want history to repeat itself, which is pretty dark. Now, this is a little bonkers, and the reason why it's bonkers is Harry was told from the beginning, you're either in or you're out. There is no in-between.
And this is why senior courtiers now believe that reconciliation is no longer within reach. The door hasn't simply been closed, it has been bolted shut. On May 2nd, Prince Harry granted yet another high-profile interview, this time to the BBC, in what appeared to be an attempt to seize control of the narrative once more. But instead of mending fractured ties, he obliterated whatever fragile threads were left. He resurrected past resentments, reignited accusations of racism and emotional abandonment, and most damning of all, cast doubt on King Charles's capacity to lead, not just as monarch, but as a father. Palace insiders, already weathered by the storm of past revelations, from Oprah to Spare to the Netflix docuseries, were left reeling. This, they say, was the final blow. One senior royal aide reportedly told The Times, he knew the order of the bath service was approaching. He understood its importance. And still, he went on the attack. The outcome? A total blackout. No engagement, no response, just silence, as if the institution itself had drawn a permanent line in the sand.
Taxpayers are kind of in the same boat as American taxpayers right now. We strapped,
Right.
okay?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, no, Harry, you don't get to live in Montecito and eat your Meghan honey cake and have it too, you know? And so then it's just, everyone is shocked. William is just done.
Wait, I was going to say, how are Prince William and his wife Kate Middleton responding?
Not only was Prince Harry excluded from attending the event, his name, according to insiders, wasn't even raised during the planning stages. He has been methodically removed, scrubbed from the royal script he once played a central role in. Back in Montecito, reports suggest the emotional toll was immense. Those close to the Sussex household describe Harry as a man increasingly consumed by resentment, prone to emotional swings, and acutely aware of his growing isolation. One insider allegedly overheard him lament, "I deserve to be there. I am the king's son." But within the walls of Buckingham Palace, that once powerful title carries little weight. It's a lineage now overshadowed by distance and distrust. Meghan Markle, for her part, has remained conspicuously silent regarding the event. Yet some royal commentators speculate her silence is strategic, that she's quietly backing Harry's ongoing campaign against the monarchy, fueling the rift from behind the scenes.
Family.
You mentioned there's kids. Let's talk about Princess Charlotte. We keep hearing challenges of the future king and the princess trying to avoid Charlotte feeling like, quote,
Others suggest Meghan is deliberately keeping her distance, steering clear of what has spiraled into a public relations catastrophe. Regardless of her motives, one truth is clear. Prince Harry now stands utterly alone, stripped of the reverence once afforded to him, cut off from royal privilege, and publicly cast out by the very family he once sought to escape. It's more than a personal blow. It's a national humiliation. This wasn't a simple oversight or scheduling conflict. Harry wasn't merely left off the guest list. He was deliberately and wordlessly rejected. The same man who once proudly donned his military uniform in service to Queen and country now lingers on the margins of the very institution that once celebrated him. As Harry brooded behind Montecito's guarded gates, Prince William was quietly savouring a moment of symbolic victory. The Order of the Bath ceremony transcended mere ritual. It was a silent coronation, a powerful passing of the torch. With King Charles officially bestowing upon William the prestigious title of Great Master, the message was clear. The future of the monarchy rests with him. No dramatic headlines, no fiery interviews, only solemn tradition, steadfast service, and the embodiment of royal continuity. In that moment, William didn't just inherit a title. He affirmed his role as the rightful heir to the institution itself. The contrast between the brothers has never been more glaring.
William and Kate are doing a lot of family time. They are trying to raise their kids as normally as possible. They go to a regular school. They have every dinner together every night, and they're hoping that one won't feel left out.
Paula Froelich, thank you for that. And
this is the royal family's long-awaited response to years of turbulence. A renewed commitment to unity, tradition, and unwavering loyalty. As Prince William assumed his new ceremonial position, the message from the crown rang loud and unmistakable. There is no place within the monarchy for those who trade royal dignity for media exposure. And now, the question looms. Where does Prince Harry go from here? Is redemption still within reach? Or has he irreversibly destroyed every bridge stretching back across the Atlantic? In our next segment, we'll delve into the palace's post-ceremony approach, and why insiders believe this marks only the opening chapter in Prince Harry's systematic removal from the royal narrative. The latest blow to Harry is not merely a symbolic slight, it is a tectonic shift. The 300th anniversary of the Order of the Bath was not just a historical occasion, it was a vivid, public declaration of royal priorities. The crown has chosen a path: stability over spectacle, tradition over tabloid headlines, legacy over grievance. By passing the prestigious title of Great Master to Prince William, King Charles made more than a ceremonial gesture. He drew a clear and irreversible boundary. The monarchy, he signalled to Britain, the Commonwealth, and the global stage, has no room for a prince who abandoned his role, aired the family's private wounds to the world, and sought re-entry only when convenient. Harry's tears in Montecito, they may be sincere, they may be painful, but they are the natural consequence of a course he chose. A personal tragedy, yes, but one authored by his own hand. The man who once solemnly followed behind his mother's coffin as a poignant emblem of royal resilience has now been reduced to a distant voice, echoing through media interviews and scattered across California podcasts, unheard by the institution he once belonged to. His descent is not only heartrending, it is historic in its magnitude. For Prince William, however, this moment marks just the beginning of an ascent that shows no signs of slowing. The crown has made its decision, and the name of the Duke of Sussex no longer figures within its plans. As the royal institution presses forward with steady, unyielding determination, Harry finds himself left behind, outmaneuvered, overshadowed, and ultimately running out of time. The sacred hymns slowly died away within the hallowed walls of Westminster Abbey, and the Order of the Bath commemorated its 300th anniversary. The symbolism could not have been more explicit. The royal family had turned a new page, and Prince Harry's story was no longer part of it. In that historic moment, King Charles passed the ceremonial torch, not to his younger son, but to the one who had steadfastly remained loyal. Prince William, composed yet radiant, was publicly entrusted with the prestigious role of Great Master. This was far more than a mere title. It was a definitive public endorsement, a royal declaration that the future of the monarchy would be shaped by duty, discretion, and unbroken continuity. Meanwhile, 7,000 miles away in Montecito, Prince Harry was reportedly overcome with tears, consumed by anger and defeat, left to watch helplessly from the periphery of the very institution he once belonged to, and ultimately chose to burn bridges with. No invitation arrived, no acknowledgement was offered, not even a fleeting nod in his direction. His repeated pleas, his efforts to reconnect, his desperate yearning for recognition from the family he spent years criticizing were met only with a cold, calculated silence. This was no ordinary slight. It was the monarchy sealing the vault on his royal future. Harry is not merely being pushed aside. he is being systematically erased, stripped of ceremonial honors, ignored at critical moments, and denied the basic courtesies typically extended even to the most distant of royals. In reality, he exists as a prince in name alone. The message is harsh but unequivocal. You cannot betray the crown for personal gain, ridicule your heritage for applause, and then expect to reclaim your place at the table when the celebration begins. The royal family has drawn a clear and unyielding line. If you choose to walk away, you must accept that you stay away. And Prince Harry, despite his royal bloodline, is no exception to this rule. The monarchy endures. Prince William ascends. And Prince Harry? He gradually fades, not as a martyr, nor as a hero, but as a cautionary example of what happens when privilege collides with pride, and every bridge behind you is deliberately burned. Now, as the echoes of Westminster Abbey fade, and the royal standard flutters proudly above the institution that Harry chose to abandon, one truth stands out with absolute clarity. The firm has moved on without him. The ceremonial handover of the great mastership to Prince William was far more than mere tradition. It was a calculated exercise in power and symbolism. It was the monarchy delivering its final judgment. Prince Harry is no longer considered essential, no longer trusted, and no longer welcome within the sacred circles of tradition, duty, and honor. While Harry remains secluded in his Montecito estate, locked in battles with the tabloids and pursuing Netflix ventures, his elder brother is stepping firmly into the roles that truly matter. The roles Harry once assumed he would inherit without question. That illusion has been irrevocably shattered. Royal blood alone does not guarantee a legacy. What secures it is loyalty. And with every incendiary interview and ill-advised lawsuit, Harry has made himself a liability the monarchy can no longer afford. As the crown advances, united and resolute, titles are reassigned, roles redefined, and the institution's future clearly charted. Meanwhile, Prince Harry is left to observe history from the margins, reduced to a mere footnote in the annals of the House of Windsor. Not only excluded, but effectively forgotten. Redemption must be earned, never demanded. And for Harry, the doors to the palace are closed. Firmly, irrevocably, and forever.